So this is Myrnia. Don't think I say it right. But I've worked her a few times with saddling, and she's getting better, but it's still not there yet. Let's go ahead and get the pad up there. Good girl. Back up. Back up. Let's put the bridle on. Back up. So I'm really reinforcing the back up when she goes forward. Back up when she wants to move. I'm asking her to back up. Let this bridle out some. She's pretty green. She has been ridden, but only a few times. And don't have much steering. No, she's going forward. We'll back her up. Back up. Back up. There we go. Need more focus on what I'm asking her to do. Like this right here. She knows what I'm doing. Back up. See how she's wanting to push into the space? Let's back up. Back up. There we go. There we go. This girth might be short for her, but it's the one I grabbed. We'll see. Back up. Nope. Back up. There we go. Good girl. Back up. Back up. There we go. Want to just kind of push through space. I'm going to be working that, making that better on the lunge line and driving. But I need to get her to stand still good enough to halter to get her to that point, to saddle rather. Back up. See, I started with the girth, she went forward. Her response to just about everything is to go forward. I need her thinking, stand still or back. We got to get some more of that forward out of her mind. My phone ringing, probably another spam caller. Yes. I need a longer girth, but this is what we're going to go with today. Trying to bite me when now the saddle's tight. Now let's ask her to move on. Now we'll let her go forward. Now, if you remember from the other video, when she went forward, she just kind of got to the point where she was blocking me out. So what I want to do is I want to change directions a lot. Go this way. So changing directions kind of helps get her attention back on me. It's kind of like resetting her brain every time. My cinch strap is hanging down on purpose. I do that. It's tight enough that the saddle's not going to fall off, but I do that to remind me that it's not tight enough to get on. It's just a little thing that I do. It's not hitting the ground, it's not long enough it's going to hurt anything. Just to remind me to check it before I get on. See how our attention is to the outside? That needs to be better. Over here, over here. Needs to be better, but that's not that bad. She's looking at those horses out there. Come to me. Come to me. There we go. Let's go ahead and check the saddle. Tighten another hole. Here, I'm just trying to get her to move her feet, get her attention on me a little bit. You see she's looking around. Move her feet just enough so that I can tell her something to do, like change directions, and send her. There's a horse out on the other side of that plywood, and he made some noise, and that's what kind of got her a little bit riled up. Go the other way. Nope, other way. Other way. So you're gonna move into my direction. I might have to get the lunge whip. I'm not going to stay going one direction very many times, maybe 2 or 3 times around at the most, because it's the change of direction that gets you to refocus on me. See, as she's going around, she's looking at everything on the outside, and the change of direction is what gets her back on me. Okay, so what I want to do now, like I said a minute ago, the change of direction is what gets her on me. I've lunged her enough. I've accomplished all I think I'm going to accomplish lunging. So I'm going to start doing some more work to advance her, get her mind a little bit more on me. Let's back up, back up. There we go. Get her thinking not so much forward. We're going to change it up a little bit. This was laying in the water earlier, and now that it's been in the sand, it's all dirty. Don't really matter, just going to be dirty to mess with. I want to make sure she's okay with stuff around her legs. I don't know if this horse has ever been ground driven before or not, but I want to make sure that she can turn left and right before I get on her back. Plus, that gives us another exercise for her to focus on me. Change directions. I don't want her just running blindly forward. See how she kind of has me blocked out? She gets to that point, we're not accomplishing anything. She's a little closer to me than what I'd like. I'm not holding her in. Trying to send her out a little bit. Come back to me. Good girl. This is all to get her brain on me, but it's also to get her desensitized to that and following her nose. Let's do that again. Block me out. Let's do it again. Last thing I want is her get something around her back feet and panic over it while I'm on her back. Not gonna have that. I know she's green, but we can make all this better before I get on her back. When I get on her back, she needs to know all this. I want to make sure that I'm outside kicking distance and follow her nose around. Back over here. See how she's wanting to just kind of turn away from me and look at what's out there? She's more interested in what's out there than she is me. Even though she's scooting forward pretty hard about that rope on her back legs, she's not worried about it enough to pay more attention to me. I need more attention on me. I'm gonna get her in a situation in just a minute where I can put more work on getting her used to them reins behind her back legs. There, that was better. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Forward. Oh, we're not lunging. Let's go the other way. No, you don't want to go the other way? Nope. It's going to touch your back leg. Figure it out. There you go. Good girl. See now, she was pretty worried there with it on her back legs. And once she got turned around, she blew me off like, oh, I don't need you. Most horses, when they get in a bind like that, they're going to come to you for help. Most young horses that you're starting. She's not wanting to do that, and that is a problem. That is something that needs to be worked out. One more time that way, and we're going to do something else. See how she's just wanting to run forward through the pressure? Got to fix that. If I get on her back and she just wants to run forward through the pressure, and I'm trying to steer, she's going to run forward through my steering. Back up, back up. Remember that? Remember that? Good girl. You see how it kind of reset her brain when I backed her up? Back over here. She's trying to block me out again. That has to be fixed. That is a big deal. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm here. Back up, back up, back up. Let's go get another lunge line. I need a couple of things to happen here. I need her to be okay with stuff on her back legs. And I need her to look to me when she gets in a bind and needs something. I don't want to get on her back and her get in a bind and start trying to run through my steering. We got to avoid that problem before it's a problem. And what I'm going to do, I'm attaching these lines to the halter. So I'm not pulling on the bit, I'm pulling on the halter. The fire station right down the road from me, fire truck coming by. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, you saw how she was worried about that rope behind her back legs. I would turn her to me and that pressure went away. So what I'm going to do now is get the rope behind her back legs and let her go forward, because forward is the way she wants to go, remember? Let her go forward. And then see if she will bring her attention back to me so that I can help her. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. I dropped it. Let's go back and do it again. Now, this is just as good. You see it's behind her back legs. Let her get over it. See, even now her attention's trying to go to the outside. If she steps on it, don't matter. It goes between her legs, it don't matter. She's got to get broke to it. Now it's between her legs. Now it's back on the outside. It looks kind of uncomfortable, but I'd rather her learn this now than when we're trail riding and she gets a stick stuck in her tail. She has to get over this. I'm with my left hand, the left rein, I just have her going around just like she's lunging. Right hand, I'm holding the weight, putting just a little bit of contact, just so she feels a little bit of pull. Now she's softening to it. She's figured out and hasn't eaten her yet. I figure in about the time she decides that it ain't going to hurt her, she's going to start looking to the outside. That's kind of her MO. That's how she does things. When she does that, I'm going to change directions. I'll turn her to the right, and then we're going to do the same thing with the rein going the other way. I'm gonna let the wall help me turn, just like I do when I'm lunging. And I put a little pressure on it and pull it. She wants to fuss, but it's not that bad. Now she's slowing down. Next time we come around, I'm gonna let the wall help me turn her, and we're gonna go the other way. Here we go. So several things I mentioned that she needs to learn this for safety, for getting a stick stuck in her tail, that she's not going to panic when I'm on her back. The other thing is she needs to learn how to turn left, right, stop, and back up before I'm in the saddle. When I go to get in that saddle, the only thing that should be different is I'm in the saddle. She should know how to steer. She should know how to stop. She should know how to do everything that I'm going to ask her to do. Basic steering. The only difference is I'll be on her back. Let's change directions again. And we'll go the other way. There we go. This step looks like it was stopped or skipped in her training, whoever started her. This is a step that I don't ever skip. I don't want to get on their back and then just start pulling and they not know what the pulling's about. Again, I'm just tied to the halter, clipped onto the halter. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on both reins. Ask her to change. There we go. So I'm not pulling on the bit. She's carrying the bit, but I'm pulling on the halter. So now that she's less worried about the rein behind her leg, I'm going to start changing directions more so that we can build this into steering. That last time I really didn't use the wall much. She slowed down when I made contact on her face. Let's try that again. A little bit of contact, a little bit of left, left, good girl, left. I purposely do not run the reins through the stirrups just for this reason. If I have the reins running through the stirrups and she panics, the only thing I can do is pull back. If she panics now, like you saw when I first started this, I go to basically just lunging her, and the other line's just there. Takes a little more practice that way, but it's much better for your horse. You can get much more training done that way. Putting a little bit of pressure, see if she'll slow down. Slow down, there we go. Nice slow jog. I'd like to get her to slow down to a walk. Not gonna force it. Slow down again, a little pressure. A little pressure. There we go, good girl. I don't want to pull to the point where she just sticks her nose up in there and just runs through the pressure. I want to put enough pressure that she has a chance to think about the pressure. Let's change and go the other way. Next time I change, I'm going to talk about how I handle these reins in my hands. That's where people usually get stuck, and that's why people can't usually lunge unless the reins are run through the stirrups. Yeah, so that's why people can't ground drive without running the reins through their stirrup, because they don't know how to manage the reins in their hands. I'm going to talk about how I do that. So let's ask her to slow down just a little bit. A little pressure there, that was nice. So I'm going to put both reins in my right hand, which is the inside hand, shorten my outside, and I'm going to make contact with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my inside rein with that rein and shorten it back up again. I'll go through that again when we change directions next. Anytime I want to adjust one of the reins, I can put them in one hand and then shorten. Put this rein, my right rein in my left hand, and shorten. Let's ask her to slow down. Easy. I gave her a little release. She slowed down, not to a walk, but she slowed down some, so I gave her a little release. Let's ask again. Easy. Easy. A little more pressure. She tried to push through. Easy. Good girl. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the right rein in my left hand, and I'm going to slide my right hand up. And then I'm going to pull the right rein and let the left rein slip through my hand. Now I'm going to grab the right rein in my left thumb. Drop that rein and grab it up here. All while I'm doing that, you make sure you watch the horse. Make sure you stay outside of kicking distance. I always let these reins drag behind me. Worst thing you can do is try to have a loop of rein in each hand with the horse that don't really know how to lunge and trying to change directions. Yeah, worst thing you can do is have a horse that don't know how to line drive and have a big ball of rein in each hand and try to change directions. You're going to get all tangled up. It's not going to go good. Change directions again. Right rein in my left hand, shorten my right, pull the right rein, let the left slide through, grab the right rein with my left thumb, drop the right rein and grab it shorter. See if I can add a little bit of pressure, ask her to slow down. I want to start going straight. But to go straight, she needs to walk because I don't want to get directly behind her and just start pulling back. Let's change directions again. Pull my left rein, let the right slide through my hand. Left rein under my right thumb, drop and shorten. Ask her to slow down. Easy. Good girl. So now I'm going to start. I want to get worked in so I'm more working behind her and working straight lines. So let's see if I can just step in closer to behind her. I'm still outside kicking distance. I'll have to hold my reins up so she don't step through. Start taking the circle that we're doing and see if I can get some flat sides in this circle. Step to my right. There we go. See if we can go straight across. What typically happens here, like if we're driving to the left and she sees me out of the left eye and I step in behind her, she kind of loses her forward, I'm leaving driving positions, like if I was lunging. That's why when I lunge, I move all around and I don't worry about staying in what is considered the correct driving position or the correct lunging position. Because I want her going forward even if I'm not exactly in that position. Because lunging transfers to driving. Let's turn right. Lunging transfers to driving. That was a better turn. She didn't go off the trot. And when I'm driving, I'm not going to be in that lunging position. Right there, her shoulders kind of falling to the right. I don't know if you can see that. Let's turn her to the left. If you've ever ridden a horse that kind of falls one way or the other, that's what she was doing right there, kind of falling to the right instead of steering right. So let's steer right here and let's see what we get. There we go. Good girl. Step in behind her. I have to get a little bit of left rein Like to get behind her. There we go. Right eye. Right eye. Behind her. There we go. Kind of pushing on the reins a little bit. I'm not making that much contact. I'm not pulling that hard. She needs to be okay with the amount that I'm pulling. It isn't that hard. Now I'm going to ask her to stop. I'm going to use that wall over there to help. Whoa. Whoa. Good girl. Back. Back. Good girl. Now let's step off to the left. I'm going to shorten my left rein and I'm going to step to the right. Little tick to walk off. That's the verbal cue I'm going to use from the saddle. Teach that now. Slide in a little more behind her. She looked for me in her right eye that time. There we go. Good girl. Step to my right, turn left. Step to my left, turn right. Step to my left, turn right. Pull that right rein. There we go. Good girl. She's come along nice with driving, considering how worried she was with the lines first time they were behind her back legs. Whoa. 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 We need better whoa. Let's back. Good girl. Step to the left, go right. Before I get in the saddle, I want turn left, turn right, stop, back up. We need a little bit better stop. When she tosses her head, I'm just going to smooch or tick to tell her to go forward. When she's tossing her head, when her head goes up, she has to push with her feet to get the leverage to lift her head. So by asking her to go forward, it takes away her leverage in her front feet, which in turn will stop the head tossing. I'm not putting that much pressure on that halter. She needs to learn to be okay with it. This is an example of being way out of what would be considered position and the horse still going forward. I want the horse to go forward or turn left or turn right, whatever I ask it to do, off of the rein cues, not my position. It's the rein cue that I need to transfer to when I'm getting in the saddle. If she's operating off my position, that's not going to help me when I get in the saddle. Whoa. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Started to let her turn around and come to me, but she walked forward on her own. Remember, that's a problem. Now she's pushing to go forward. I'm not going to just hold back and not let her go forward. I will open the door to the side some. I'm not going to just try to force her to stop. Now let's ask her to stop again. Ask her to stop being the key word. Whoa. Still using that wall to help. Good girl. Back. 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 Nope. Back. There we go. This horse has a lot of forward on her mind. She needs a lot more backing to get that forward. Back. 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 Nope. Back. Back. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'll let her come around to me. She stood. And just drop one line. Ask her to step around to me. She stepped on it. It's not a big deal. Got to be okay with that. Come on. Come on, she's still standing on it. Got to walk forward. Come to me. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. She has to be okay with all of that. If there's any part of that she freaks out about, that's a hole that I need to fix before I get on her back. Come on. She's trying to rub her itchy face on me. I'm not going to let her. You going to lead with me, or am I going to have to put a line back on you? There we go. Good girl. Whoa, good girl. Now let's go ahead and take the saddle off of her. I'm not going to unsaddle her in the wash rack just yet. I'll unsaddle her in the wash rack when she's further along. Let's see how she handles this. She might start pushing forward when I start taking it loose, kind of like she was pushing forward when I was putting it on, but we'll see. I'd like for her to just stand like this. Good girl. Good girl. Notice I'm taking the saddle off first, leaving the bridle on. That's something I always do with young horses, or horses that are young in training. That helps their mind. That was pretty good. I'll take that. I kind of expected when I started to pull the saddle off, her to scoot forward, but she didn't. It wasn't bad at all. So now we're going to go into the barn. Now I'm going to take her into the wash rack. Back up. I'm not going to put her in the cross ties just yet. I want to make sure she'll stand. I'm not sure how she's going to handle when the water sprays on her. Good girl. So for right now, I'm just going to hold her and spray her. And we'll see what happens. She's pretty sweaty. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. She's pretty sweaty, so the water's going to feel good. And I am sure this horse has been bathed before. She's probably had more bathing and grooming than she's had saddling and riding time. Let's get her legs on the other side. All right, looks like she's going to stand. Let's put her in the cross ties, see what happens. Then I'll be able to rinse her a little better. The ropes on my cross ties are tied at each end, there and on the other side. Let's back up with a piece of hay string, so that if they do pull really hard, the hay string will break. I don't like the tie blockers that slide through, because I don't want them to feel them getting that slack. I want them to feel them get that hard stop. And hay string is just enough that they reach the hard stop, and they have to pull hard enough to get pretty hard to break that hay string actually. And if one breaks the hay string, then they get tied to my tie line outside. It's not rigged up for anything to break, but it's rigged up where it's safe, so no matter how much they pull, they're not going to get hurt. I always put more grooming time into after they've worked than I do before they've worked. I want the grooming, getting rinsed off, to be a reward for work. I don't want to rinse them and clean them up really good, get them all relaxed, and then tell them, hey, now we got to go to work. Good girl. Don't seem too crazy about getting sprayed in the face. So we're going to work on that here in just a second. Make sure I get under her tail. On reining horses, I actually pick their leg up and pull it out and rinse between their legs. Because when you're doing the big slides, you'll get dirt up in there that's hard to get out. And that way I get it all out. So all my older horses are used to having their leg picked up and pulled out when they're rinsed. Put it on a little lighter. Now let's go on her forehead. Coming at this angle, she can get her ears back, so it's not going to go directly into her ear if she'll put it back. And I'm just going to keep going until she kind of settles to it. It's going to feel good. There we go. It's going to feel good. She might not like it, but she needs to get used to it. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. I don't ever just spray it right at them. I'll always start with the ground so that they can see it coming. Main thing is you don't want to spray it right into their ear. And if she'll cooperate, I won't spray it into her ear. If she's fighting with me and it goes in her ear, then that's on her. I know she don't want it in her ear, and I'm trying my best to not let it go there. She needs to put a little effort into it too. Now see, it's mostly hitting her left cheek. Let's see if we can get around and have it a little more on her right cheek. See, as I come around, she's turning, there we go. She was turning her head, trying to keep me on her left. Got to work the right, just like everything else. And there's Travis over there getting a little extra bath. It's hot today, I'm sure he don't mind. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Part of the reason I do it this way, see how she's standing pretty decent in the wash rack here? She's not scooting around or trying to avoid really any of it other than when I was spraying her face, and she just walked in the corner. I want this to be a relatively pleasant place to be and establish it as that before I start saddling her here. I'll start saddling her here after I've unsaddled her and rinsed her a few times so that she knows to expect this. This is a lot more pleasant than getting the saddle put on. So I normally have a fan that I put them in front of to dry them. But today it's so humid, it's been raining off and on all day. They're not gonna dry no matter what I do. I'll just put her back in her stall. So just making a good bit of progress. This is gonna end up being a pretty nice horse. Just have to kind of keep changing her training program up to fit what she needs. This is Maria. Still don't know how to say that right. I'll put a link to her last video that I did of her. Until next time, thank you for watching.